What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Residual Earners Podcast, episode number 44, which is crazy. Today, we're going over the effects the election will have on you, whether you're happy, whether you're sad. We're going to, throw a lot of stuff out there, the good, the bad, the indifferent on how the election will affect you, will affect businesses upcoming in the next few years. And I'm Jordan.
And I'm Presley.
And we have a little bit different look today, but I kind of like it.
I think it's okay. Tell them why we got a little bit different look today, Jordan.
So obviously, guys, as you know, I am in Calgary, Alberta. Have a new business up and going, so haven't been able to travel as much as I would have liked to lately to get back down to do it in the studio. So I am here in my Calgary office, and the show must go on, though, as they say.
The show must go on. And I mean, it's kind of fun doing it this way. I'm not going to talk about our technical difficulties that we had getting this first one set up, but we're here. That's what matters.
It definitely, we spent some time last night. We spent some time this morning before jumping on, and this is a platform called StreamYard that's awesome for doing podcasts like this, and just happy that we can jump on here and get it done.
Well, we got it together here, brother. When we're going to have a little fun today. Hey, give people a report of my favorite grandson.
He's interesting. We'll just go with that. He's playing a lot of hockey, some good, some bad, but he's a character.
He is definitely a piece of work. They threw away the mold when they made Grayson, I'm telling you. But he is a hockey playing son of a gun. And tell him what you just put in your backyard.
We ordered a rink from a company called Easy Rink. So he's got full board set up and nets up top where the pucks can't go over and out. And, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we get a cold spell and are able to get some ice in that thing.
And those nets are important because last year you were slinging pucks all over the neighbor's yard, weren't you?
Just running and grabbing them and trying to jump fences and skates. And it's a lot of work if you're not set up right, but this year we got it set up right, so we're good to go.
Well, that's a good thing because he's getting bigger and stronger too, huh?
That's it. But let's jump into the meat and potatoes here and kind of get things started off. Obviously, with Trump winning the election, like I said in the intro, there's some good, some bad, some indifferent. What are the main things that stick out to you of things that will be changing here in the upcoming weeks once Trump takes office?
Well, we're going to obviously, I wrote 6 things down: taxes, tariffs, immigration, deregulation, the Federal Reserve, and energy. I think that's 6 areas that, that'll be affected. That'll be a little different because we've got Trump in office. And, we can start with taxes. I think for the most part, people will be happy because I think he will push to get the that tax cut that he put in his first term, get it extended because it runs out at the end of 25, and he will push hard to get that pushed through where we have lower taxes. The downside, I guess, could be, depending on if they make some cuts here and there, is that, with the lower taxes, that means less revenue for the country, could mean our debt goes up a little bit. But my gut feeling is, since he's putting Elon Musk and Vivek, my gosh, how do you say his last name? Ramaswamy. Oh my gosh, geez Louise. Anyway, Vivek, I'll just call him Vivek. They got Elon and Vivek running that department now that's going to try to find waste and stuff. And if they can find enough waste and stuff, then our the taxes being lower, it'll be fine. But I think overall it's going to be good. What's your thoughts?
No, I agree with you. I think his plan with Elon and Vivint is it's one I haven't seen before, and it's one that I really like. I do feel like there is some dead weight out there that really does need to be trimmed that could save the country a lot of money. So it's one of those deals that hopefully they come in, they do what they're supposed to, and we do see a big benefit there.
Well, I think if you're looking, I had to get my driver's license renewed here recently, and obviously a government-run operation, and I mean it was an ordeal just to get my license done. I think there's a lot of ways that they can cut. I know that when Elon took over Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, I mean he cut about 60% of the people, and he says they run better now without them than they did with them. So I definitely think they're going to be looking for some cuts. But the good side of how they've been talking about it, though, they're going to give the folks, if they have to let some people go that they can't transfer to other departments or something, great severance packages for like a year, stuff like that, to give people plenty of time to find a position in the public. But I'm excited about that because I think we all know that, I think they said now there's like 428 different departments. They're creating more than one a year. The country isn't even that old, it's more than one a year that they're creating. And then what tends to happen with departments is they're created to handle a certain issue or a certain problem or be a watchdog, but then they tend to take more power and more power and more power, and then you end up with departments that are overlapping. And I think it's going to end up being good for the taxpayers, because I think it's going to save us quite a bit of money.
No, I definitely agree with you. It'll be interesting to see kind of how quickly they move on this, because obviously with Elon and Twitter, Elon, I mean, once he took over, he went right away and started, trimming the fat and get it down to a reasonable size. And so it'll be interesting to see how quickly they can move on that to really cut cost for the country.
Absolutely. And then, the next thing on my list is tariffs. President Trump is big on tariffs, and during the campaigning, he was talking about China being a 60% tariff, the rest of the world being a 20% tariff. I think he's posturing there. I could be wrong, but I think he's posturing, at 60% and all that. That way, he's got some excuse me, he's got some wiggle room to work with them. But I think tariffs are going to be a big deal. He is big on tariffs, so. And I do agree that a lot of countries have taken advantage of us through the years, and I think he's definitely an America first kind of guy.
Definitely, and I get both sides of it, because I feel like overall here, especially in Alberta, people wanted Trump in office, but on the flip side of that, with the tariffs, there are ways it hurts Canada. So here, kind of, I get both sides of it. Obviously, the oil, there's a big pipeline running through Alberta, so they want oil to start flowing again, and people are a little concerned with the tariffs. And it's one of those deals where you can't be so reliant on another country for your everyday goods, and you've got to kind of stand on your own. And I feel like with Canada, they're so reliant on us from the States that it definitely can hurt them.
No, without a doubt. And those tariffs, they'll help balance some of those tax cuts if they get that extended at the end of 25. So if you're bringing in money from tariffs, which it will, then that could balance out some of the loss of revenue for the tax cuts. But I think overall it'll be good for Americans. Again, I'm all for America first. We got to look out for ourselves. Not that we don't care about other countries and other people in the world, but you definitely have to look out for number one, and I think he does a good job of that. The next thing, Jordo, do you have anything else on that one?
No, I'm good. What's next?
Immigration is, a big one. And when you looked at what people were interested in when it was coming into the election time, it was all about immigration. And, I think one thing we can all agree on is we pretty much just had an open border with millions of people coming in. And that is definitely fixing to come to a screeching halt. I think they'll get the wall finished. And there's no doubt that a big wall is a deterrent. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it'll certainly help. But as far as business goes, where that'll come into play is you'll have a little bit of a smaller workforce, because you're going to have a lot of those workers that won't be coming over like they are right now, just walking across the Rio Grande, and it's going to be a little bit of a different deal. But you know, I think it'll hurt our GDP. I think it'll hurt that a little bit, but it'll also balance out because we won't have so much demand either. Because if they end up deporting, millions of people, it'll cut demand. So I think it's going to all work out, and obviously we'll see. I think again he's probably talking a little rougher and tougher than it'll actually turn out, because it would be a major undertaking to deport that many people. But I think it would be a win if they can just get the border secure, where we at least know who's coming across the border.
Definitely. No, it the last, 3.5 years, almost 4 years now is really been an open border. And like you said, there, so many people are coming in, and it's not right to the citizens of the country. You see, California doing a nothing down 0% interest for illegal immigrants to be able to buy homes. Yet we're not taking care of the people that live here, work here, pay taxes, and it's stuff like that that I question a lot of the time. Is why do we not take care? Why are we so worried about people coming into our country illegally, but yet not worrying about the people that are taxpayers that are struggling with inflation and these other areas? We don't seem to want to take care of them.
Well, I believe strongly that we should be taking care of Americans first. I believe strongly that we certainly should be taking care of our veterans, and we've got a lot of homeless veterans that we don't even take care of. So, yeah, I agree with what you said there. Let's take care of Americans first. Now, I'm all for giving aid to anybody we can help, but you take care of your own first. And, like I said, we'll lose a little supply, because if we lose a bunch of the workers, especially in agriculture, the supply will be less, but we'll also lose some of the demand if we lose a bunch of people, and they get shipped back to their country of origin. But I'm just excited about knowing who comes in and who is here, because from all the stats that I have read, we're getting people from all over the world. They just learn, go into Mexico, and then you can get across the border. And we're getting people from, I forget, last time I heard it was like 100 and over 100 different countries of people coming in, and we don't know who they are when they're just walking across the border. People should be vetted. I mean, I'm all for immigration. My family, your family, we're immigrants, but you do it the right way. And I think that is the big key, is just do it the right way.
Definitely. So, question for you, and I think what, a lot of our followers on here are small business owners. What do you see coming? What did you experience the first 4 years with Trump in office? What do you see coming? How will it affect, the small business owner that makes up such a big part of this country?
Well, when you have tax cuts and you have a relax of regulations, it's going to help them. We didn't really get to see how it was going to all play out with Trump in his first term, because the pandemic hit, and it kind of got everything out of whack, obviously. But this time, obviously, we'll get to see how it plays out. Now, his first couple of years, it seemed to be working pretty well, because anytime you cut taxes, anytime you cut regulations, it just makes it easier on small businesses. And I think we've had way too many regulations. We got people checked, getting checked on anything. I just know that. Cutting regulations is going to be a big deal for business, to open it up and let it start thriving again. Now, do you have to oversee it? Yeah, you got to oversee it, but you don't want to manage it to the nth degree. You don't want to be staring over people's shoulders all the time. And I think that's kind of where we had gotten. But I expect small businesses to thrive here as soon as he gets in office.
100%. And it's one of those things, and I heard JD Vance say this, and I think I fully support this. Is, so many people, whichever side they're on, get so riled up over politics and don't want to be friends anymore with the other side, and don't want to, um, you know, separate from family that thinks the other way. And it's like, whichever side you're on, it's just, it's just politics. Don't lose friends, don't lose family over it. Try to find a way to see eye to eye, and I think that's what needs to happen to bring this country together.
Well, yeah, we just need to agree to disagree. I mean, I don't think there's any two people in the whole world that agree on everything. I mean, it's just the way it is. But I don't think you should hate each other if you don't agree politically. You know, I look back. Obviously, I'm older than you, Jordo, but when Ronald Reagan was president, Tip O'Neill was Speaker of the House, and Tip O'Neill was a Democrat, Ronald Reagan, obviously a Republican, and man, they had some bitter battles. I mean, they would go at each other, but then they went and played golf together. You know, in today's world, if I disagree with you politically, it's almost like I'm supposed to hate you, and I don't get that. I don't understand that. Let's just agree to disagree and go on down the road, because that's the way this country was built. People can disagree, and you still can be friends and get along. You know, family, get along, love each other, all that stuff. You don't always have to talk politics if it creates a rift.
Definitely. No, I just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that in there. Obviously, with all the uncertainty, change that's going on, it's just important to try to make the most and get along with everybody.
Yeah, and I'm all in on that. You know, the thing that I think is really going to help the small business, though, Jordo, is a deregulation. I think if you get the government out of everybody's business within reason, I understand that, but if you get it out of everybody's business within reason, I think you're going to see small businesses thrive. Because right now it's so hard for a small business to do anything, because they got to get so many people to okay it, and I mean it's crazy. You know, Elon Musk was talking the other day, and he said that, you know, they could build this giant rocket quicker than they could get approval to launch it. Which, you know, is to me just crazy. You know, he was saying you can't pass the paperwork from desk to desk. It takes longer to do that than it does to build this massive rocket. And, you know, it's just, we just got so many regulations and stuff now. You know, you listen to the Speaker of the House talk, and they'll be talking about they've got this bill that's coming through, and it's 2,000 pages. I mean, come on. I mean, who in the world can even read it? You know, so how do you really know what's even in it? I mean, I don't think you got time to read the thing, you know, so it's kind of crazy. I'm excited about the deregulation of everything. Um, you know, the other thing that comes into play is, you know, the Federal Reserve. The Fed has been lowering the interest rates. I think that in December they'll lower them another quarter point, and then they're predicting that in 2025 it'll drop another 100 basis points. I'm assuming that all that'll keep going, because the Federal Reserve, they're kind of an independent body. It doesn't seem to matter if it's a Democrat or Republican. Now, Trump will probably say a few more things than some of the presidents, but I don't think it'll really affect that. I think we're on that downward trend of getting interest rates down. Now, obviously, if inflation jumps back in or something, it could change, but I think we'll probably hold true to a quarter point in December, and then 100 basis points in 2025.
No, that'll definitely, help things get moving, help the spending in this country go back up. Um, what do you see from in kind of a market standpoint? Obviously, with you know inflation coming down, with rates coming down, do you see anything going into next year that you say, "Hey, this may be a good thing. Hey, this may be a bad thing"?
Well, I'm certainly not an economist. Had a few business classes, but not an economist. But I think we're going to have some good times coming up. I think, you know, with everything that's going on, I think you're going to see businesses thrive more. Businesses tend to thrive more when you have lower taxes. Businesses tend to thrive more when you have less regulation. Businesses just tend to thrive more when they feel a little freer to, to go and do. Now, obviously, some of the big giants, especially out in California, these big conglomerates that are trying to buy up businesses, you got to watch that a little bit. I'm not saying you don't keep an eye on stuff, but I think 2025 is going to be a phenomenal year. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be an American right now. I'm excited about everything we got going on, and I do believe that we've made a good turn in America first. I mean, again, I'm all for helping everybody, and I make donations to causes that help people all across the world. But you got to look out for your own first, and then you look out for everybody else. I mean, that's kind of like your family. I mean, you and I are going to look out for our family first, and then if we can help other people outside our family, that's great. And that's kind of how I look at this. America is our family, and we take care of them first, and then sure, we try to help other people around the world, absolutely. But I believe in the philosophy of we're Americans, we take care of Americans first, and then we help everybody else.
So, kind of speaking, we've spoke on talked about the positives going into next year. Do you see any red flags? Do you see any downsides? What are the things that kind of people should be looking out for moving into a new president in office, new staff, completely kind of different views than what's in right now? What are the red flags?
Well, obviously, with the people, and we've only seen a few of his appointments, but obviously these are not all Washington insiders. These are outside people. My gosh, who would thought a guy like Elon Musk, who's one of the top one, two, or three richest people, depending on what list you look at in the whole world, worth hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, I don't know how it's going to all work out. We're going to have to see how it all plays out. But I'll say this: he's putting smart people in these cabinet positions, and I think it's going to all be great. But there's always a little risk involved when you're making big changes, and there's definitely going to be some big changes made. But I think we're going in the right direction. I think he's putting smart people in office. He's definitely putting people that are loyal to him. I think he got a taste of that in his last term in office, and he's putting loyalists in there that are going to, take care of Donald Trump. And I mean, I think if I was president, I'd be putting people in that had my back too. But I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with all the stuff that goes down, and I think we're going to turn back into that country that we've all been proud of through the years.
I agree with that.
The big variable, Jordo, is inflation. I mean, if inflation hits again, and sometimes, you don't have a lever to control it. It's not like you can switch it on and off. You can adjust it with the feds and them raising interest rates or lowering interest rates, but it's always something you got to keep an eye on. So if I'm a businessman, which we are, I'm watching inflation closely, and I'm going to see what the feds are going to do and how is this new administration going to affect the feds, what they're going to do. If you're charging tariffs, it could make prices go up a little bit. You could, with less taxes, people are going to have a little more money to spend, so we could be putting more money in the economy. Inflation, you got to keep an eye on, but I believe the Fed will do a good job with that. And then, the one thing we haven't talked about, Jordo, is energy. I'm excited about Trump wanting to be energy independent. I don't like us being dependent on the Middle East or us being dependent on Venezuela. Those are not our allies, and I don't like having to rely on them to get us oil. So I'm excited about us taking care of ourselves in that regard. Now I understand that you got to take care of nature. I'm all for that, but I don't think you can not take care of us oil wise, because I think it could end up being a problem for us in the long run. If something breaks out and we're real dependent on one of these adversaries to get us oil, we could be in trouble.
100%. Well, what are some more thoughts you have? Obviously, we have 5-6 more minutes on here, and guys, we just thought this would be a good kind of topic to go over with everybody. Obviously, we're not coming at it from too much one side or the other. We're trying to be as in the middle as we can here. I think there's good. Some people will think there's bad. Obviously, this is mainly focused from a business standpoint, more than the actual topics that these candidates debated on going into the election. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy that leads into those different areas. This is more of just a business based podcast, as you know. So we just kind of approach it from a business side of things, and there are definitely a lot of good things that are going on that could benefit business owners. Um, you know, could benefit employees of companies. So it's just you know kind of figuring out the details where you stand on these and kind of what to look forward to or watch out for coming the new year.
Well, I do think that Donald Trump will help us be the energy capital of the world. I think we will really thrive in that role when we start, producing oil. He's wanting to, he's wanting to cut energy prices by 50%. I think that's probably a little bit optimistic. I don't know that he can cut them by that much, but I certainly think if we get to producing the oil and making it happen, I think we can certainly cut them quite a bit. If we cut regulations, I think that'll help us lower the prices. I think for the consumer, I think that they will see oil prices go down, which obviously is good because anytime you pull in and fill up, every time I pulled my truck in and fill up, it went from about $60 filling it up a few years ago to about $100, and I don't like that. So if we can get it down to that $50-$60 range, I like it a whole lot more when I whip in to fill up. Just some points, Jordo, that I think we could make. I think steel companies are going to do amazing because I think here in America, you're going to see at least his first couple of years, a lot of building going on. I think he's got a goal to reduce the trade deficit. That's been going the wrong direction. I think he's going to work on that. I think he's going to encourage domestic production. We do not want to rely on China and Taiwan to get us all the parts we need for the electronics for our cars and stuff. I think we got to get a lot of that back on shore where it's here, where we're in control. If everything in the world goes perfect, it doesn't make a lot of difference. But if there is an issue, if there is, something where tensions really rise, we could be in trouble over that. Let's see. I think the tariffs, I think he'll definitely have tariffs. I think we'll definitely have tariffs on China. And I think China's got to understand they got to play fair with us. Let's see. What else? Anything else I can think of? I think, back when Sarah Beth was working at Hubbard, she would have liked this. But Trump is saying no tax on tips, which I like that. There's too many games you can play with that anyway. Trump doesn't want to have taxes on Social Security, which I like that as well. He's talking about a 25% tariff on Mexico. I don't know how that would go because we get a lot of our produce from over there. But Trump's a smart guy. He'll figure it out. If something's not working, he'll change it. But the one thing that we've all got to get in line with, and I think this is where Elon and Vivek will really help us, is that right now our debt service is more than what our national defense budget is. And it just can't keep going up every month. At some point in time, it's like any of us, we can live off credit cards for a while. Sure can. We can all do that. But at some point in time, you reach a tipping point where you can't just keep living off credit cards. And as a country, that's what we've been doing. When the pandemic hit, our budget went through the roof, and for whatever reason, we've never got it back down again. I understood during the pandemic that we needed our budget up, but it's like once the pandemic passed, we just left the budget where it was, and that's not good. Debt is not good for for any of us. But anyway, the other thing that I think, Jordan, you probably have some thoughts on this is, I think Trump is pro crypto, so I think crypto will. I think it'll do well. I think you'll see Bitcoin and those. Man, I saw where Bitcoin's up over $89,000, which is just mind-boggling.
I don't have a. You make it out to seem like I'm a crypto or Bitcoin guy. I've never even dabbled in it, never understood it. And I think that's one thing you've always said, I don't want to invest in things I really don't understand. So, never done too much with it.
Well, no, but it tends to be the younger generation, which you are obviously, tends to look at it a little more and do a little more with it overall.
Definitely.
But
100%.
I'll say it again: is that I'm excited about where we are as a country. I think we're going to have a great 2025. I think you're going to see a big uptick in stuff. If you look at the stock market, it seems to be real happy right now. So I think good times are ahead, guys. I think now is the time. If you're going to start something, let's start it. I mean, let's get something going. I always tell people that you're either going to take a little risk or you're going to have some regret. Well, I'm telling you right now, I think it's time to take the risk. Let's jump out there. Let's get something going. If you're wanting to change your life, I think now is going to be a good time to do it. If you're wanting to get a business going on the side, I think now is the time to do it. So I think I'm real bullish on what's going on, Jordo.
No, well, I am as well. And, guys, as we're wrapping up here, leave a comment down below what you think of the new style. Obviously, this is just most will still come from our studio down in Dallas, but sometimes we do have to record them like this. So let us know what you think about the new style of podcast
Well,
here.
we're 50-50. I mean, they're seeing the studio. I'm here.
Yeah, 50-50. So but let us know about this. Leave a comment down below, kind of your thoughts on everything that's happened recently. How, if you're excited, if you're not excited, let us know. Hit that subscribe button, because most people that we are, talking to, or most people that see our podcast are not subscribed on YouTube. So make sure and subscribe there, guys. Leave a comment, hit that little bell icon so you get updated whenever we drop a new podcast, which, as you should know by now, comes every Friday, 6 a.m. Rain or shine. We've only had to scramble one or two times.
Yeah, and also you can tell them what happens about 6:30 a.m. Central Time every day if they want to get some positivity to start their day.
Presley is on the old TikTok live, giving it everything he's got every morning. So it's kind of crazy, the following that we've gotten on there, really, that you've gotten. We're right at 190,000.
Yeah, we're at 190,000. I can't wait. We'll top the 250,000 mark, and to me, that's mind-boggling. But people they tend to like to listen to me holler at them, about how they can change their life and what they can do, and we go over all kinds of tips on success and stuff like that. So jump on there if you want to get your day going with a little upbeat info and how to change your life. Jump on there at about 6:30 a.m. Central Times when I start every day.
And then obviously, you didn't know I was going to throw this in there, but obviously, if you're still listening, 30 minutes into this podcast, you're one of our faithful. Give them a little bit of what's coming in the next few months, hopefully sometime early in Q1, with what we have that really is going to give people, just an awesome opportunity to, improve themselves, achieve more success, just overall, better themselves.
Well, we've wanted to be able to give a little bit more, and we come up with the idea. This was actually Jordan came up with the name of Residual Earners University. We're going to call it Residual Earners University, and we're going to have all kinds of content on self-improvement. We'll have content on how to get started in real estate or affiliate marketing or network marketing, or we're going to try to give you a lot of meat and potatoes on how you can make money, content creation, stuff like that. It's going to be pretty amazing. We're also, I'm more excited about is we're going to have a community where we can all communicate with each other, where I'll do a Zoom and we'll get me and Jordan on there once a week, and we'll be there to answer your questions and get to know you a little better. I'm pumped about what we got our hands on. But you guys, this is the first time we've mentioned it live like this, where people know about it. But just keep your antennas up. Residual Earners University will be coming here pretty soon.
And Presley has been working very, very hard to get that to you guys. Like I said, hopefully it's sometime during Q1. We have a rough date in mind, but you know, obviously a lot of work goes in, and you know, Presley's going to make sure that it's perfect before we ever launch it. So you know, some of that stuff can take a little more time towards the end.
Yes, sir.
So, well, thanks everybody for jumping on. Obviously, leave the comments down below on what y'all think of the new style. Maybe one more week of this, and then back in the studio to get a few.
Yeah, you know, I got a question though. How do I give you a fist bump now? I mean, we always ended with a fist bump. I don't know how to do it. I guess like that, maybe.
You're further away from the.
Yeah, I'm a little further away from the camera, but anyway, I love you and
Love you too, and thanks for jumping on. And you know, it took a little bit to get this production off the ground this time, but you know, next time will be easier.
we did it. Hey,
So,
God bless you guys. We love you.
love you too. Thank you.